Coming up, we ate even more food at Halloween Horror Nights 30, and we are very excited to tell you about it on this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. I am your host, Craig Williams, and today I am joined alongside by my co-host, Ryno.
Hello.
Hello. Season's greetings. Season's spooky greetings, Ryno.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you dare get all holiday on me now.
I mean, it's still a season nonetheless. It's the spooky season, and we are quickly coming to an end of the spooky season, and of course that means things like no more Halloween Horror Nights, which is getting very, very sad to think about. But you know what? There's still a little bit time left to enjoy it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And of course, part of that is the food that comes along with Halloween Horror Nights. You heard our first round of food that we tackled a week ago, I believe. Yes. And we had to get out and try even more. So that's what we have to talk about today. But before we talk about that, we have to remind you this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content and you want to support us, please, please, please head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today for a free no obligation quote on your next Universal Orlando vacation. It will cost you no extra money, and you get that world-class level of support from a Dreams Unlimited travel agent. Okay, so very similarly to the last food review we did from Halloween Horror Nights, Ryno and I actually took to the field to record our in-the-moment thoughts all about what we were having, and we did that once again. So without further ado, I think we're going to cut to both myself and Ryno at Universal Studios Florida.
We are back at Halloween Horror Nights yet again for more food. Still so hungry. We didn't try enough the first time around, so we needed more. I probably already explained that, so I don't know why I'm doing it again. But we are starting out with a meal from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre booth. It is the Coca-Cola Barbecue, specifically the roasted lamb spit. And this is $10.99. It obviously comes with lamb dredged in barbecue sauce. Also another side of that Coca-Cola barbecue sauce, because you can't go wrong with extra sauce. Then we have garlic, sliced pickles, and a piece of white bread. The saddest piece of white bread in the world, I will say that. I know barbecue is always better with that piece of bread or garlic toast. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say it probably wasn't necessary at all, but I'm very excited about it. So the lamb is basically done like the same way that you would have a gyro or a doner, I believe, the Canadians would say. And so it's just that shaved lamb, which I really love. I love a good gyro or gyro, depending on where you come from. So I'm gonna start with just a bite without extra sauce. They were dredging it in sauce, but I want to see if it holds up without needing extra. I have thoughts about it without extra sauce, but I am gonna do a slight dip in sauce here, just to get a little bit more, and see if it takes it up to the next level. It does take it up to the next level. I love this because that lamb is just like fall apart right in your mouth. It makes this so perfect. It literally melts. It has that like pepperiness and savoriness to it, and mixed with that sweet Coca-Cola barbecue sauce. It is a perfect combination. I will just say that, Ryno. I think you're actually going to be very impressed with it. I will have a garlic bagel. Give me a garlic bagel.
A picky. It's gonna be sweet though.
No, it's actually dill garlic, so it's actually really good. It's really good. You know what? I'm just doing it. I'm slicing the white bread. Careful. It feels so stale.
Careful.
I'm gonna do it this way.
You're making a little Sammy.
I'm gonna make a little sandwich.
I think it's for sopping up the sauce.
Yeah, I know. Oh no. Oh no. Trying to keep that away from there. And then Let's go crazy.
Yeah, get that sauce.
Go crazy. Let's get nuts. Put a little sauce on top. Well, bam. Emeril Lagasse approved. Chop, chop. I actually really love it. Ryno, your turn.
I'm doing it the same way you did it. I'm doing naked bite first, which isn't really naked. I wasn't sure what I was gonna eat. I like lamb a lot. I liked watching them shave the lamb to like pour the pieces onto this little tray. I'm gonna try with the sauce. That sauce really has a Coca-Cola flavor to it. Like really, that like pure essence of Coca-Cola to it, which is really interesting. Gonna do a little picky. Oh, these pickles are good. That's a good pickle.
I told you. It's surprisingly good.
I'm gonna make a little Sammy now. I'm gonna do the thing, put a little picky in there, do a little thing. Here we go. This sandwich has a hole in the top.
There's a hole in my sandwich.
Oh no. Oh no. I see what you're saying. They should just serve it like a sandwich. I'd buy this again in a heartbeat. Like, what did we say this was? $10.99?
$10.99.
I feel like you get a decent portion of the meat. And then, I don't know, I like that it's on this tray that you can share it with people.
Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I'm glad, I'm happy with our choice. I know we almost backed out of the lamb, but this is good lamb. We have here from the Hill House booth area, we have one of Nell's Tea Party sandwiches, and we went with the Tempeh Reuben. So this is actually one of the plant-based options. It has Light Life Tempeh, DIS Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and plant-based Thousand Island dressing on a marble rye. It's not as funly sealed as the other one. So it's literally just like a little toasty sandwich.
Just as buttery on the top, it looks like, too.
I don't think I like it. I don't hate it. It's very cheesy, like very, very cheese heavy. Like, I think that's my problem with it. It doesn't have, it has like way too much cheese. Also, I wonder if a separate butter was used for this or not. I doubt it. But, and like I guess I thought it was going to be saucier. But yeah, I think this is one of those things where it's called a Reuben, but it's like not really the meat substitute type of Reuben. So it's like completely different. So like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I'm biting into a Reuben, and I get something completely different. And like Reuben, you should have that. There's not enough sauerkraut, so it's not giving me that texture that I want from a Reuben, which is like that, coleslaw-y, crunchy a little bit. Am I wrong?
A little. Usually Reubens have more of the crunch from the bread, but then it's just that, it's whatever they put on it in terms of the meat, whether it's, a turkey Reuben or corned beef. Technically, they could put pastrami on there too. Sauerkraut can have a little crunch to it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I just think for me, it's too cheesy. That's all. That's what I would say. But I will say this: I usually don't like Swiss cheese, and it doesn't have that real strong Swiss flavor to it in the plant-based cheese that they're using. It's just like it feels like it's one of those sandwiches where we got the cheese on the both sides of it, and I'm a cheese right in the middle type of guy. I like to do my lettuce, meat, cheese. That's how I do my sandwiches, so it tells a story as you open it. But you should try this.
This is our chance at redemption for the Hill House Nell's Tea Party booth. Last time around, we got the Jalapeno Popper grilled melt, and we probably should have just went with the brisket one, because I've heard that's the winner. But no, we're going vegan, because we need to also throw that into that plant-based vegan stuff. And I will say, it was nice. The chef actually did, when he heard us order it, he did warn us, like, that's vegan, right? And apparently a lot of people have not known that, so that has caused some issues along the way. But I am still looking forward to it. I really love Reubens, and I prefer the a turkey Reuben, which I believe is called a Rachel. I am not positive on that as I say it, but I'm not classic when it comes to that. I'm willing to try all different kinds, including this one. So there goes nothing.
I don't think it gets better the colder it gets, though.
Ryno, I'm gonna have to second you on this one. I don't think I like this.
Yeah.
I like the butter on top, which I'm pretty sure that is. I mean, maybe it is vegan, but it's not just that there's butter on top. There's also like salt on top
yeah,
too.
salty.
So that is leaving like a nice garlicky, salty, buttery flavor. The actual the tempeh, like it does have that cauliflower consistency to it, but I don't know. At the same time, it's weird because it feels unnatural as you're eating this sandwich. And honestly, besides that, I agree with you. There's not enough Thousand Island in here. It's really falling flat in terms of like the sauce and flavor. And I'm not even getting a lot of cheese in mine either.
Oh,
so
great. It was all smushed on my side again.
This is just kind of, it's really bland besides the salt garlic on top.
It's one note.
Butter. Yeah, I'm gonna eat it all, but I will say, as of right now, this is another one and done for me. Why didn't we just get the brisket?
I don't
Why?
know.
Why? Next up on this culinary adventure around Halloween Horror Nights, we have the Bourban Candied Pork Belly. And this comes from the Sweet Shop booth that is themed around Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. Very nice. And the Bourban Candied Pork Belly, of course, is a skewered, thick-cut pork belly coated in a bourbon glazed shell for $9.99. And this thing was an absolute nightmare trying to cut. I know what you're saying. Why would you cut it? It's on a stick. That's not the thing to do, but obviously we want to share, so we needed to cut it in half. No place during HHN apparently uses real silverware, only plastic cutlery, so that made everything a lot more difficult. I was very concerned that my fork was going to break apart inside of it, and the knife barely made it. It was very hard to get through, and I think it's because this pork belly is actually like terrible quality. I think we're each going to take like one bite of this thing and just throw it away.
I am not hopeful.
I can't even like get it with. I'm just going to go in with the knife.
Show me the like move this piece. Yeah, no, show me that side.
Show you that side.
Yeah. Looks like a pork chop.
Does kind of look like a pork chop. Okay, here goes nothing here with this pork chop on a stick.
Oh god, I might throw up. I'm not kidding. Oh, it's my turn. It's my turn.
I am done.
Okay.
I am done.
I can't. This is gonna get stuck in my filling. I can already feel it.
Please forgive me. Like, forgive me for this. This is the Jalapeno Popper and Tempeh Reuben. This is my retribution for it.
I don't want to do this.
I mean, the nice part is the candied part melts in your mouth. It's gross, isn't it?
It tastes like... I just don't... You know, I'm not a big meat person, but even then, I'll have pork belly every now and then. You know, it's delicious, but... This is like a shoe flavored like bacon and then covered in candy.
It's gross.
I don't like the texture at all. At all. Like...
It's overcooked.
Yeah, I think ideally you're supposed to just be able to like bite and chew through it and pull it apart. I think the fact that it's so hard to chew through the piece of meat, like even if we had left it on the stick, it would still be too hard to bite through, I think. Like, I don't know if that's just in terms of like when they made it or what. Like, I don't know. Girl, I don't know. So from Monsters Cafe, we got the Flam Kuken, which is the wood oven flatbread topped with creme fraiche, caramelized onions, Swiss cheese, and bacon. Good God, this event loves Swiss cheese and bacon.
I feel bad. I didn't realize there was Swiss cheese on this when we ordered it. We should have got the potato pancake.
I just want to point out this flatbread. This literally like is on like a matzo chip, and you can see right here, it is actually a square piece of cheese that somebody laid down here, so it wasn't even shredded. And it tastes like what it looks like. But you know what? Still better than the pork belly. I mean, it's just, the bacon's crispy. The cheese is, it's like You know, if you ever made like nachos in your microwave and you left them in there just a little bit too long, and the cheese is like now fused with the chip like it's a Brundle fly, that is essentially what this is and what it tastes like. I can't really recommend this one either.
So there was a plant-based option that was available here that we had during the media event, and we thought it was good then, but you know, obviously we didn't want to just rehash something we already had, and like I just said, there was also a potato pancake here. Probably should have went with that, but I also thought like, hey, this is a nice splitting item. I mean, just any like flatbread in general, but I will say there's a nice portion that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces all cut up. So a generous portion, but yeah, it's also about how it does taste here.
If I came to your house and had this and then got in the car and left your house, I'd be talking about how we're going to bring food over from now on.
It's very salty. Luckily, the Swiss, at least the piece that I just had here, was very... Actually, no, I'm getting the Swiss in there, right in the back now. But the bacon and the caramelized onions definitely do the heavy lifting at the front of it, as well as a little bit of chives on there. I'll be honest, I'm not as against this as you are. To me, this almost kind of tastes like a loaded baked potato in a way. And so, or like, what's the potato skins? This kind of tastes like potato skins. Yeah. So I will say,
it's drunk food.
It is drunk food. So I think that's a benefit, especially, you know, if you're in the middle of HHN, you need a place to like relax and cool down. Inside Monsters, like it is empty inside here right now, and it's such a big restaurant that there's plenty of seating, so you can sit back, relax, and this is a nice salty thing to kind of get that, you know, get those electrolytes back in you. I don't think that's how it works, but yeah, I mean, I like this, but it also felt like we got an old stale one, and then taking photos, videos of not only this, but the Bourban Candied Pork Belly, like, I feel like we did ourselves a disservice with this one, but, you know, I also like potato skins and loaded baked potatoes, so this is more for me, but would I get it again? I don't know about that. I don't know.
It just feels like it's made with some cheap ingredients. Like, it's just like Swiss, no-name brand Swiss, and then, like, bottom of the barrel bread. And again, but it's like what you said.
Yeah.
Drunk food.
I agree with that. It is the cheapest ingredients possible.
And that was a look at the food that we tried, and I believe we left out some important details along the way, like pricing, as well as, I feel like finalized thoughts as well with it. I think we were very thorough about some of the things that we did enjoy, but also not very thorough about some of the other ones. But Ryno, of the 4 things that we tried this time around, were there any that you felt like were stand out, like you had to go back to get?
I was thinking about one this morning that was the barbecue was good.
Yeah, I completely agree about the barbecue. It's just, if I went back to get the barbecue, would I want to get the lamb again? Would I want to do the barbecue ribs? Those seem a little messy. Would I want to do the plant-based option? I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, this week I'm going with my friend RJ, who has never been before. I thought he had been before, but he loves to he's big foodie. He loves to like recreate theme park foods in his like spare time. And so he already said like, oh, I know I want to go get like pizza fries and stuff like that, but I want to try all this food. And I was thinking like, okay, what we had would I be like, RJ, we're going and we're getting this. The peanut butter, the deep fried peanut butter,
No Chance in Hell.
Yes, No Chance in Hell. Yeah, and I was thinking like, okay, well, what from the other night would be a definitive thing for him? And I was thinking like, really only that booth. And then I was like, do I get the lamb? Or, I mean, I would be curious. I would be a little curious for the plant-based option, but I don't know. I think I liked the lamb a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a ribs person. I'm not a meat on the bone guy. So
yeah, I know you're not. But the only thing that points me to that is every single person I've talked to has recommended the ribs versus anything else there. But I do like good shaved lamb, and it was good.
It's hard because, like, your hands are just so gross
Yeah.
for being in a theme park. Even immediately when you wash them and then walk over there, it's already like, the germs through the air. Maybe if I put some gloves on right after I wash and then just eat with the gloves.
Oh, well, I mean, that
I do carry gloves in my Sandy Fanny.
fantastic, Ryno. But I completely agree on the barbecue being a big hit for a booth. And I don't know if they could bring it back next year, considering, it fits along in the line with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And, I don't know if they can find a way to shoehorn it in next year, but I absolutely would be thrilled if they continue their barbecue offerings, even if they would shove it inside like Monsters Cafe, like, because it was finally pretty good. But what the lamb was $10.99, I think.
The lamb was, sorry, my phone literally just went to sleep right before you asked me. It was, roasted lamb spit, $10.99.
Go to sleep.
Shh.
Yeah. And the only thing I disliked about that, I liked the barbecue sauce, sweet, but worked well with the lamb. Hated the bread.
Actually,
I liked the sandwich we made with the bread, but it was so weird.
While I'm looking at the picture we took of the menu, I think I would try the plant-based one next time because it was a plant-based sausage and chicken, and that sounds pretty interesting. So I might have to do that and report back.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see if you actually get to that.
Probably not.
No, you'll probably go to the brisket. You want that brisket grilled cheese finally, because we keep missing out on it.
Here's the thing. I'm a completionist, and we've basically had everything on the menu from that one place, and I feel like we missed the one thing where they were like, okay, this is a solid idea, and the other two are fine.
Yeah.
One's like, I'm not gonna lie, I did not care for the Godfather. I did not care for the vegan option we had, the Tempeh.
Yeah, the
even
Tempeh.
thinking about it later, I was like, nah.
What was the price point on that one too? I think it was $9.99, but not positive on
that
it.
One was $10.99. All of them are $10.99 except for the traditional grilled cheese there, which is Luke's grilled cheese. That one's $9.99.
Yeah. I think overall I didn't necessarily mind the vegan one. I don't really care for that much soy, and I guess it's just all like that's all soy in there. So but beyond that, it was more of just a texture thing. I wish they would have, like we kind of said, it was like close to cauliflower.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make it a cauliflower grilled cheese?
I would have loved that. Honestly, like, I want to make that now. That sounded delicious. I think that would have been way better.
Well, I know what we're having for dinner tonight.
Cauliflower.
I don't eat at your house, so we probably won't
But you
be.
like to watch me.
Yes, exactly. So, and then, of course, we'll go in the order of how we actually like things. Then, of course, we had the Flammkuchen inside Universal Monsters Cafe. And I mean, I ate all but one piece after we were done with what we filmed on camera, but it was mixed. I feel like if we would have had it fresh, because the flatbread we got definitely was not fresh.
No, I think we said it in the video, the cheapest ingredients humanly possible to make this thing, which was only $8.99. But I will say the second piece I had was much better than the first piece. So I had an end piece that was really, really crunchy and crispy, and then the next one was a little more of that flatbread texture. But I don't even know that this could be qualified as a flatbread, because, again, I felt like it was a giant cracker with a slice of Swiss cheese, and then somebody was like, bacon.
Yeah, I mean, technically that it is still flatbread. I believe crackers it's close enough. I don't know enough about that, though.
Wheat
but
in its flattened form.
Exactly. And it was odd, too, how when we got towards the last couple pieces, like the first couple ones that we had were very balanced and like not a lot of bacon, but all the ingredients were like well balanced. And then we got and uncovered the ones at the end, and they were like just all bacon. Like, there was so much that Ryno said, I do not care for any more of this. I will eat one more piece, and then the rest is yours. And I ate all the bacon. But the worst thing that we have had, I think, above and beyond at Halloween Horror Nights, even worse than the Jalapeno Popper grilled cheese, worse than the Flam Kuken flatbread that we just discussed. I think it has to be, and also worse than the gyoza. It has to be the Bourban Candied Pork Belly.
Awful. So this is the thought I had about it afterwards. I don't remember if we said it in the video or not, but that, like, in order to achieve the thickness of the candied shell that it had, like, yes, it looked interesting, but like in order to get it to be that right thickness, they couldn't have candied it while it was hot. So That's the whole thing, is that if it was hot, that candied shell would just keep melting. So I was like, is there a food safe certified person that could talk to me about what the internal temperature of pork belly is supposed to be? Yeah, because I feel like we were in the questionable zone.
Oh, you know what? I'm guessing that the candied process at some point like locks something.
It's like when they used to mummify people in Egypt with honey, mummy, honey. Honey mummy.
Wait, they ate the people with honey?
No, they used to bury people like they used to just like pour honey over them, and it kept them like entombed. I don't know. I read that somewhere. It was on Fox Kids when I was a kid, and that was probably not very trustworthy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that detail before, but I definitely think that I was thinking more of like Jurassic Park, the mosquito in the sap.
Yeah.
That's how you get dino DNA. I'm thinking the same thing with the candied bacon or the candied pork belly. The candy like wraps around it and it preserves the pork belly inside for years.
Yeah, just leave it on the counter. 3 years later, we come back, chop on it.
Yeah,
you're good.
Stick a needle in it and we mix it with frog DNA and we get pig frog.
I guess. Sure.
Okay. Fair enough. But this thing was gross. It was $9.99, and like we mentioned in it, the pork belly inside was disgusting. It was like a pork chop. That was the texture of it. Not like pork belly.
But I can feel it crawling back up my chest right now. Like I'm going to start gagging.
Yeah. And you would think it would work with the sweet and the savory, but there wasn't enough savory. It was all sweet. It was just gross. It was really, really big miss. And then when you look at like some of the other things that they had there, like the Monte Cristo waffle stick, I just wish we would have tried that.
What is wrong with us? Why we get that just because it's in the picture everywhere, and it was the one that was on social media? Oh my gosh!
Well, and it was bourbon candied, which of course you couldn't taste any hint of bourbon at all in there either. And yeah, we made a mistake on that one. I think we should have went with the Monte Cristo waffle on a stick because that sounds delicious. Ham and cheese stuffed waffle topped with raspberry sauce and powdered sugar.
Yeah, whisper that one to me on a late night.
No, thank you. So. Okay, that is it for the food that we had this year at Halloween Horror Nights 30. Of course, you just heard Ryno and I say that we are still going back, and we will probably try more things. We will not be doing any more official reviews, so maybe we'll mention on our big Halloween episode what else that we were able to have at the event, and any regrets we have from food we didn't get to try. We'll fill all of that in next week, but that's going to do it for this week's episode. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you had fun living vicariously through our food adventures. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the thumbs up if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments, questions, and video suggestions in the comment section below. And do not forget about this too. If you're listening, make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if it's through Apple Podcasts, leave us a 5-star rating and review if you enjoy the show. And of course, you can always support us even more by booking a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. Get a free no obligation quote today at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. But that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much, Ryno, for talking about food with me. And Okay. And thank you everyone out there for watching and listening. We truly appreciate it, and we'll see you again real soon with another episode of the DIS Unplugged Universal Edition. But remember, we still haven't changed the name.